Hey y'all, welcome back to the party. It's me, your girl BrittReacts, and today we're reacting via a kind suggestion to Tupac talking about Donald Trump and greed in America. This is in 1992 on MTV News. Let's see what happens.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in the ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. If you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped. Just, you know, I feel like instead of us just being like, slavery's bad, slavery's down, bad whitey, bad whitey. I mean, all right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that, I mean, we've been slighted. And we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we passed that. But we need help. I mean, for us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help. Because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels.
Whoa. Okay. Today is election day. If you're watching this on the day that this video went live, it's election day here in the US of A. The big presidential election. And so when this came in, I felt it was appropriate to watch today because why not? If I can be 100% honest, I'm not a huge, like, I don't know a lot about like Tupac outside of, I don't know, I feel like what everyone knows. I just was a lot younger. Like, this is in 92. I was 4 in 92. And by the time he had left us, you know, I grew up on the East Coast. Like, I'm a East Coast girly. Okay. So not to say I'm like Team Biggie or anything, but Team Biggie, no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, but I do know that Tupac was very, informed. He was very active in the culture and community. And he was very big on, I feel like he was like the first rapper to not hold back on his views and his opinions, and both musically and just like, this is just an interview. Now, he brought up Donald Trump, and I feel like I've talked about this before. Back in the 90s, Donald Trump was like a hip hop icon, which is so ironic now because like the word racism is like so attached to him for so many people, maybe not you, but the word racism is synonymous with Donald Trump these days for a lot of people. But if you look back into hip hop, Donald Trump has probably been in like a dozen rap videos. Like, he was the pinnacle of wealth in the 90s, like Trump Towers, like everything you could think of finance wise, Trump was like the example. And in hip hop, when everything is about money and gold and women, he like was idolized in the hip hop community. And so, you know, I think it's interesting that he said, you know, look at Donald Trump. It's like, that is literally crazy to me how someone can go in the hip hop community, in the black community, and not everyone, but there is an overwhelming feeling of he is not for the people anymore. I don't know if he ever was or people ever felt like he was, but he went from being like, I mean, this man, literally Google like Donald Trump in rap music videos and you'll see. You know, he was that guy for a lot of people. And it's just wild to see like decades later how that has changed. And I don't know if Donald Trump ever had political aspirations. I shouldn't say ever had, but back then, if he had political aspirations and he spoke about it. But I'm interested to know, like, if you remember this time really well, or, you know, whatever, like in the 90s, was he ever vocal about wanting to go the political route, or was he just like a business finance guy? Anyway, back to Tupac. Yeah, I mean, I just think this is Tupac's stance on this. It's interesting to me. I feel like I'm listening intensely because I'm not sure I've ever heard this perspective at this time in 92. Again, I was a wee little thing.
Now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like, you know, everybody need a little help on their way to being, you know, self-reliant. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing about the album, about the Special Olympics. Everybody need a little something and they to be independent. No independent person just grew up and was born independent. You worked and you learned teamwork and you learned cooperation and unity and struggle, and then you became independent. And we have to teach that and instill that. And why is it that they want to do that? I mean, if this is truly a melting pot in the country where we care about it, and Lady Liberty got a hand like this, she really loves us, then we really need to be like that. And it needs to be the black kids. And if there's a white person who got money, then he need to help them. He need to help black kids, Mexican kids, Korean kids, whatever. But it needs to be real. And it need to be before we all die, and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money. We really should have helped these folks. It's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you got to pay your own karma. And that's when God make you punish. When you...
Ooh. Lord, he goes deep. Okay, so Tupac feels to me like Kanye in a sense, and I'm very ignorantly only saying this watching this one video, but I think what he's meaning to say is not coming across wholly and correctly in this interview, because if you listen with just shallow ears, you hear a man say, if a white kid has money, meaning he's rich because his parents are rich, he should be giving black kids, Mexican kids, all these kids money to help them. And that might sound a little like, what? But I think what he's trying to say is systematically, and he said this in the beginning, like, I don't think anyone will deny slavery happened and, you know, it was an awful thing. And because of that, black people have never really, we didn't start off on the same line as everybody else systematically. Right? Maybe everybody doesn't think that, but that's what Tupac is saying. He's like, everyone knows that black people did not get a running start in the race. And yes, you can say, well, that was the black people who were in slavery. You're not in slavery anymore. But what you don't understand is the generational burden that my ancestors who were slaves, and the delay in their success delayed the generation after them and the generation after them and the generation after them. And it takes someone to come and break that generational cycle, or someone to give them a chance. And that's what I think Tupac is saying. I don't know if he literally is saying, write a check and hand it over, as much as I think he's saying we all deserve the same chances and opportunities to reach the same levels of success, which I think is a fair thing to say. I think that's a super fair thing to say. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, you're entitled to your opinion, but the one requirement is kindness here on my channel. If you can't be kind, get out my comments.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you got to pay your own karma. And that's when God make you punish. When God punishes you. Because I feel like, you know, it's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million and we got people starving.
It's crazy. Lotto is like billions now.
That's not idealistic. That's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1 million, druple $1 billion, and then there's people starving.
Druple $1 million.
There's no way. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants.
You say to people that say, well, they earned it. Now you go out and you're earning it.
If they earned it, then I think that that's good, and I think that they deserve it. But even if you earned it, you still owe. Because look at me, I don't have that mega money, but I feel...
Isn't that what the government tells us? Even if you earned it, you still owe? I don't disagree with this. Like, when you think about like the billionaires in this world, and how if they all gave like a small fraction of their fortune, we could maybe solve world hunger. It does. It feels like, well, okay, I get they earned it, but like at some point you have to want to give, right? And not just to give for a tax write-off, but like, I don't know, everybody doesn't have the same heart. It's something I learned a long time ago. Like, everybody doesn't have the same generosity. Everybody doesn't have the same feeling or need to give, and that's fine. Again, if you earned your money and it's yours, it's yours. But the government says that I work hard and I dedicate my certain hours of the day to the labor, and I owe them a cut of that. Is that not the... Okay. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Even if you earned it, you still owe. Because look at me, I don't have that mega money, but I feel guilty walking by somebody. I got to give them some mail. And if I know I got
Some mail.
$3,000 in my pocket, I feel like it's wrong to give that person a quarter
That's
or
what
a
I'm
dollar.
saying.
It's wrong.
Everybody doesn't have
Only
your heart,
you know what you
Tupac.
got in your pocket. And that's wrong. No matter what they do, if they take it and drink it, they take it and drink it. But, I mean, you understand? And
I gave my daughter this exact lesson the other day. We had gone into a restaurant and come out, and on the way out, a guy was sitting in his car. The car was in bad shape. Like one of the windows had tape on it. And he stopped us on the way out and he said, "Excuse me, can you spare I think he said $16 for gas?" Someone broke into my car. He had this whole spiel. And honestly, whether I believed it or not doesn't matter, but I didn't need to hear it. He was in a worse off situation than I was in. And I had, I think $5 cash, and I just gave him everything I had. And she said, "Well, if he needed it, if he's homeless, how come he has a car?" And I said, "That's not for us to question or judge. He asked for it, I had it, and I didn't need it, and he needed it. Whether it was for what he said he needed it for or not, that is not my concern." And she kind of was like, "Okay." But I want to be that example to her in this same way. It's like, I might have only had $5 cash on me, but I had a lot more than $5 in my bank account. And I don't believe, and that could be naive, but I don't believe anyone who didn't need help would be putting themselves in a position to need to ask for help in that way. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just, again, that's my motto. It's just like, if I have it and I'm not taking anything out of my children's mouths, please. And I promise you, anytime I do something like that, the way the Lord will circle back and bless me, and not always monetarily, but I'm like, you reap what you sow. The goodness you put out is the same goodness you will receive. And if you don't believe that wholeheartedly, I am sorry for you, because it is the truth and it doesn't always come back immediately, but there is something in the world that will happen, and it is a direct response to something you did in the world. I said it.
Or a dollar. It's wrong. Only you know what you got in your pocket. And that's wrong. No matter what they do, if they take it and drink it, they take it and drink it. But, I mean, you understand? And we all know how hard it is, and it's not about if you good or you bad.
Who is this
since
child
it's not about
in the
if you good or
background?
you bad, we know that because he don't got, don't mean he was bad. Or don't mean he's a criminal, or don't mean he's crazy, or a drug addict, or none of that. It just means he don't got. And ain't it bad that you got 30? I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million? $32 million. And this person has nothing, and you can sleep.
Look
You
how
can still
passionate
go to the
he
movies
is.
I mean, and then these are the type of people that get humanitarian awards. Millionaires. How can they be humanitarians? By the fact that they millionaires and there's so many poor people shows how unhumane they are. You know what I'm saying? And that bugs me. Not saying that when I'm never going to be rich and I'm never, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it's a struggle, and I think everybody deserves. And I think there's a way to pay these people. I think there is a way. It just takes to be revolutionary. And it takes to do something out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if we just said, okay, I got an idea. No more porno buildings. You know what I'm saying? Let's build houses. Or no more polo games. Let's build houses for poor people. You know what I'm saying? Or, look, okay, I know you're rich. I know you got $40 billion, but can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got 2 kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me. It don't. And then these people celebrate Christmas. They got big trees, huge trees, all the little trimmings. Everybody got gifts, and then somebody's starving. And they're having a white Christmas. They're having a great Christmas, eggnog and the whole nine. That's not fair to me.
He was so passionate. I wonder if Tupac was still alive today. Some people say he's out on an island somewhere. That's his business, not mine. But if he was around today, would he have gotten into politics? Because he just seemed so passionately, fiercely, ferociously for change. And like he said, revolution. You know, he wasn't the most eloquent. I hate the word well-spoken. I can't believe I was about to say that. He wasn't the most eloquent of speakers, right? No, his grammar wasn't 100% correct, but I think passion supersedes grammar any day. Like, he was coming from such a good place. I do find a twinge of irony in the fact that he's wearing like all these rings and all this jewelry, and he, would have music videos in these big old mansions. But I get the artistry side of it. And he just told us, like, if he sees someone in need, he gives. And I don't know how much money Tupac had in that video or how much money he amassed before he passed away, but I do believe that he was a giver. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There were a lot of big points there. So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. I hope you voted today. I hope you use your power either way with the best intention. And I hope you have the day you deserve.